As we welcome you back to our perch here overlooking the 17th hole, Cara Banks alongside Aaron Overholser and Mark Rolfing, and delighted to welcome Jaime Diaz to the desk as well. And Jaime, you're an hour late for good reason. That is because you just got out of a pretty important meeting. You're part of the selection committee for the World Golf Hall of Fame, and you guys have just decided on the class for 2024. We're going to reveal it in just a moment, but what is the experience like being in that room?
Well, it's an honor, and it's a bunch of people who really love the game and know the game very well and have some passionate thoughts about what the Hall of Fame should be about. And I think those are expressed in discussions and votes, and sometimes impassioned and always respectful, but you know, there's some disagreements, and things get worked out though in I think a way that everybody feels like, hey, I lost out on my guy or my woman, my person, but the greater good was served, and the will of the people, so to speak, was followed. 20
people in that selection committee,
yeah.
75% of the votes needed to get someone into the hall, which is, of course, 15 of the 20. So without further ado, let's reveal who will be in the class of 2024. Irishman Padraig Harrington, of course, a three-time major champion. He had that stretch where he won 3 majors in a span of 13 months, including back-to-back Open Championships. He has played in 6 Ryder Cups for Europe and served as the captain in the most recent matches back in 2021 at Whistling Straits. 21 worldwide wins total for Padraig Harrington, a very worthy recipient. Next up, Johnny Farrell, a 22-time winner on the PGA Tour. He won the 1928 US Open, by the way, in a 36-hole playoff over Bobby Jones. Already in the PGA of America's Hall of Fame, Farrell played in 3 Ryder Cups, and he was the head professional at Baltusrol for over 35 years. He has been on this list several times. It's wonderful to see him make the list of inductees. Another familiar name, Tom Weiskopf, a 16-time winner on the PGA Tour, the wire-to-wire winner of the 1973 Open. A 4-time runner-up at the Masters, Weiskopf, who just passed away last year in August of 2022, might be more known nowadays for his post-playing career as a world-renowned golf course designer. Next is Sandra Palmer, a 19-time winner on the LPGA Tour. She won 2 majors back in the 1970s and was also the Player of the Year in 1975. Congratulations to Sandra Palmer. Then the late Beverly Hansen. She was a pioneer in the women's game. From North Dakota, she turned professional shortly after the LPGA was founded in the early 1950s and went on to win 3 majors that decade. She finished her career with 17 LPGA titles overall and later spent 35 years as a teaching professional. Also an inductee this year are the 7 remaining of the 13 total co-founders of the LPGA who were not previously in the World Golf Hall of Fame. They were considered as one total candidate, and here, as you can see, are the 7 women: Alice Bauer, Betty Danoff, Helen Dwightmeyer, Helen Hicks, Opal Hill, Shirley Spork, and Sally Sessions. Congratulations to all of them, truly earning their place inside the World Golf Hall of Fame. So here is a look at that new class, the 6 brand new additions: Padraig Harrington, Johnny Farrell, Tom Weiskopf, Sandra Palmer, Beverly Hansen, and then the 7 remaining co-founders of the LPGA not previously inducted. And with that, I am delighted to welcome in one of the newly announced inductees. 3-time major champion Padraig Harrington joins us live. First of all, congratulations, Padraig. We learned a couple of weeks ago that you had made this list of finalists. What are your emotions on learning this news just a couple of moments ago?
Thanks, Cara. Yeah, lots of emotions now. It's happened. Humbling. Humbling to be included with the class of 2024, but also humbling to be included with the people who've gone before me. Lots of those are my heroes, people I would put up on a pedestal. So to be there with them forever is very humbling. There's a certain amount of, not just joy, but satisfaction and validation in the announcement for me. You know, I'm at a stage in my career now, 50 years of age. You're looking back on what you did. The world of golf is moving on very quickly. So when you do get it included in the Hall of Fame, it certainly brings that sense of, I did it. You know, it brings validation to what I did in the past, and it's a very nice reminder of the good days that have gone before me.
Padraig, you have a tremendous record, of course, but I wonder what personal qualities you feel you have about yourself that were most responsible for getting you into the World Golf Hall of Fame.
I assume I got in based on my wins. I would like to think I got in based on my love of the game and my respect for the game, the etiquette of the game, the rules of the game, just my love of everything that there is about golf. There's lots of people out there who have that and won't get in the Hall of Fame based on how they see the game. So it is based on the wins, but I would like to think it's more somewhat to do with the respect I have for the game.
Padraig, this is Aaron Oberholzer. Congratulations on your induction.
Thank
That's
you,
pretty awesome to see a contemporary of mine who I played with and played against get in the Hall of Fame, and that's really cool. Was the Hall of Fame, when you were a kid in Ireland, was the Hall of Fame a goal, or was the Hall of Fame a result of a lot of little goals because you were so good at the process when you played?
Yeah, we don't do Hall of Fames in Ireland. It's not something I would have grown up with any sport in Ireland. So it was more something when I came to competitive pro golf and you just see how people are ranked. And essentially it just became much more on my radar as a pro. I think when you start out as a professional, you're trying to keep your card. Then you're trying to win a tournament. Then you're trying to win a major. And then once you've done that, you really are looking at your legacy, what you leave behind. And, the Hall of Fame is very much part of that. You see the guys that you respect have made it into the Hall of Fame. So you're always like, I wonder, can I do that one day? I wonder, do I deserve to be in there one day? It's something that grew on me. And it's definitely something as you get a little older that becomes far more important in your life.
Padraig, Mark Rolfing here. Congratulations to you, and I can relate to getting older. There you go, earpiece back in. I can relate to getting older, Padraig. You've had so many honors in your career, of course, your major championships, Ryder Cup captaincies, things like that. Where does this Hall of Fame induction now kind of fit into when you look back on your career and say, this was really important?
I think this gathers them together. I've had a very nice passage of time in golf that a lot of the things I achieved in a sequence that sort of grew on top of each other. And this nicely, collates, pulls it all together. As for me, it's just that I get to stand beside the greats of the game. These are people, as I said, that I would have put up on a pedestal. And I played against them. I can think of Ernie Els, Bernard Langer, Retief Goosen. These are guys I competed against in Europe that are in the Hall of Fame, let alone going further back and thinking of in my time, the true greats back in the day, whether you're looking back at, your Hogans, your Sneeds and people like that who in some way for me, they're intangible. As in, I never saw them I competed against them or in person or anything. The modern guys I competed against and to be included with them, yeah, that's very special.
Padraig, you had this wonderful golden period of 3 majors in a very quick situation, a very quick frame of time. And I wondered, first of all, as you were doing those, did you think that you were rising up into a different level of golf? And how did it happen that you reached this moment where you were suddenly putting it together in such a wonderful way? And as you look back on that, what was magical about it?
Yeah, I had a very natural progression. Like I'm even sitting here watching Sawgrass this week, and I was runner-up in 2003 and 4, or is it 2002 and 2003. So it's not like the majors didn't come out of the blue. They were just a natural succession of good performances. And as I said, I was the hottest player in the game who hadn't won a major at that stage. So it was natural. And I have this theory that everybody gets 2 seasons, about 18 months of play where they just peak. You could look at Tiger Woods 99, 2000. Everybody, you'll find it very hard to find an outlier where you don't have that 2 years where things come easier, I would say to you, hey, look, I played better in 2009, 2010, but the results weren't better. So that was kind of spectacular. By the way, you're just looking at that video. I have to say it that I'm looking at. I played without a jumper that day. And it was cold. Everybody remarked how I managed to play without a jumper. The reason I played without a jumper is it was too small for me. It kept riding up. I see it there in the Everybody thought I was just particularly tough, but no, it was annoying me, so I took it off. You look, you guys sitting there in the panel, you have the research. It's very hard to find somebody who didn't have a run at peak, and whether that is they made a Ryder Cup team or they won a couple of times on tour. It's different peaks for everybody, but you'll find that there was an 18 months, and clearly 2007, 2008 was mine in results, but it was coming. Like, you know, I was Player of the Year in Europe in 2006. You know, so these things were just following in a natural progression. And as I said, thankfully now, with being in the Hall of Fame, it's I can sit back and look at it, remember it, and you know, put it all together in one place. And that's what the Hall of Fame does. It really, I'm playing on the Champions Tour obviously a lot now, and the Champions Tour is great for reminding you of the great things you did, the great shots you hit. Every time you win a tournament, even hit a good shot in the Champions Tour, it's a reminder of what you did back in the day. And now the Hall of Fame, the World Golf Hall of Fame, is another reminder. Puts it together and says, you know what, you did well.
You really did. And by the way, Padraig, it's a jumper to you and me, but it's a sweater to the rest of the boys on this panel. But I know what you're talking about. I wanted to bring up the PGA Tour champions. You're so incredibly humble, speaking about the natural progression and, of course, the respect and etiquette you have for this game, hopefully being part of the reason you got in. Your career list of accomplishments is incredible. The tournament wins on both the United States and the European tours, of course, the Ryder Cup appearances and captaincy, and then what you're doing now and still currently are actively doing on the PGA Tour Champions, a major winner on that tour now also. I'm interested to know, for you personally, what is your proudest achievement in this game?
That's a big question. As I said, the ones coming now are somewhat validation of what's gone in the past. Obviously, like, I would never considered I could have made the World Golf Hall of Fame when I started as a pro golfer. It was just not on my radar. I was just trying to survive. But as I said, you know, being Ryder Cup captain was right up there. Tournament-wise, lots of big tournaments. Winning the Irish Open, winning the 3 majors, winning the World Cup of Golf. I'm sorry that's not around anymore. That was a big deal with Paul McGinley back in '97. There was a lot of good moments for me. Winning the Walker Cup in '95. Just golf has been so good to me. As I said, I've had a lovely progression. I still out there trying to play, but things like this just give you that moment to reflect and sit back. And in some ways, which I never want to be the guy that's trying and keep going too long, but this sort of says I can stand there now and puff my chest out and says, I did it.
You really did. And I know your wife, Caroline, and your 2 boys will be so proud of you, Padraig. You've certainly survived. You now will have your legacy etched into the World Golf Hall of Fame. We're really pleased for you. We're really grateful for you joining us all the way from home in Ireland today. So thank you so much for your time. Congrats. And we look forward to seeing you getting inducted in 2024.
Cara, thank you very much. I'd just like to wish all the other Hall of Fame 2024 class congratulations. And I would like to say everybody on the ballot deserved to be there. I'm sorry to see the others who haven't got in, and hopefully the next time will be their turn.